All right. So let's take some notes. I'm going to go quick because we have just a few minutes in class. So it says the range of a signal from a radio station is bounded by a circle described in the equation x squared plus y squared equals 2025. A stretch of highway near the station is modeled by the equation y minus 15 equals 1 over 20x. At which points, if any, does the car on the highway enter and exit the broadcast range? So real quick, just as a guide, we're going to do this in Desmos. So in Desmos, I'm going to pull this up. And then I'll show you on a graphing calculator. It's really hard to do this, but we'll do this on Desmos. So they gave us some equations. All right. The first equation was x squared plus y squared equals 20. Equals 2025. Now that's a big circle. So I'm going to, whatever the square root of 2025 is, it must be 35. Or is it 50? No, it can't be 50. What is this point? 45. All right. And then our equation y minus, what was it? Y minus 15. I know you need to see the thing. No. Yes. Well, we can't do it on the calculator. That's what I said. We got to do it on Desmos. I'll show you in a second how to do it on the calculator. Okay. And then that is equal to 1 over 20 times x. And so, with the bacon sizzle, here are our two solutions. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let me take a picture, and we'll put this graph. Wait, I want to do a new one. Yeah, we'll have to get y by itself. I want to graph it because graphing kind of guides what I do. So in both scenarios, we got to get y by itself. To graph the circle, we have to actually do two things. So the first thing you do is, and to graph it in a graphing calculator, you have to do y equals some stuff. So let's do the circle because that's going to be the challenge. So if I say x squared plus y squared equals 2025. First thing I need to do is subtract x squared from both sides. And I get y squared is equal to negative x squared plus, well, I'll write this a different way. It doesn't matter how you write it. I could say 2025 minus x squared. Okay. I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Now remember, when you take the square root, you have plus or minus. So that means y is equal to plus or minus the square root of 2025 minus x squared. So to graph that on the graphing calculator, and I'll move that. Oops, wrong one. No. To graph that on the graphing calculator, go to y equals. Clear out your equations, and I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do the positive square root of 2025 minus x squared. And then I have to do the negative separately. So remember to use the negative sign, not the subtraction sign. I'm going to say negative the square root of 2025 minus x squared. Okay? Now, based on the graph, we need to make our graph big. Okay? By the way, what is this set equal to y? Well, that's pretty easy, right? For that one, I'm just going to say y minus 15 is equal to 1 over 20 times x. Add 15 to both sides. and I get y equals 1 over 20 x plus 15. So I'm going to graph that in my graphing calculator too. So I'm going to say, remember to get the fraction, what you do is you hit math, and then go over to fraction, then you get n over d. And I'm going to say 1 over 20 x, right, plus 15. Now I got to set the window. And if you look at my Desmos graph, the circle goes all the way to negative 45 and positive 45. So when I go to my window, I'm going to set it to negative 50 to 50. Whoops. What the heck is going on? What the heck in the world? So I'm going to set this to negative 50. And then I'm going to say 50 for my x. And then the same thing for the y. Negative 50 and positive 50. Okay? That should give me, and what I'm doing is I'm setting the x parameters from negative 50x to positive 50x, and then the same for the y's, negative 50y to positive. So now when I hit graph, there's my circle, and there's that. So I'm going to expand this and do the large screen. And it looks a little funny because that's how the TI graphing calculator is. But let me just take a screenshot of that. Well, now I can't because my face is in the way. So we'll come down here. And that's what it looks like on the TI 84. Okay. And I'm just going to copy and paste that somewhere in here. That's the TI 84. It looks a little goofy. But now we could solve this algebraically, right? We could use the calculator to find this. It's going to be the same answer as these, but let's see what those are when we set them equal to each other. Now, here's the tough part. I've got to do 2 of these. So I've got to do the positive of 25 minus the square root of x squared is equal to 1 over 20 x plus 15. Okay? And I've got to do the negative of 25 minus x squared is equal to 1 over 20 times x plus 15. And so I'm going to stop the video there because it's almost time to go. And then we'll pick up tomorrow where we left off and we'll finish the problem, okay? We'll do the algebra tomorrow.